अपने चित्त को संसार में रखते हुए ध्यान में रहेंगे और श्री माता जी की अमृत वाणी सुनेंगे। Now we will listen Shri Mataji's Amrit Vani. हम सब श्री माता जी के चरणों में प्रणाम करके सामूहिक बंधन लेंगे।
साक्षात्
अपने चित्त को सहसार में रखते हुए ध्यान में रहेंगे और श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी सुनेंगे. नाउ वी विल लिसन श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी.
Tonight we are going to worship Shri Krishna as Virat. First is important to understand the incarnation of Shri Krishna. Krishna word comes from the word Krishi. Krishi means agriculture. He has sown the seeds of spirituality. And for that, first of all, he had to think, where are we as far as spirituality is concerned? How is the land? So what had happened at the time of Sri Rama, that he created lots of maryadas. And by these maryadas, people started mentally thinking about it. I'm not supposed to do that, I'm not supposed to do this. It was just a mental binding. It was not spontaneous, it was not search. As a result, people became extremely serious. They wouldn't talk much and they wouldn't laugh, they wouldn't enjoy anything. So Shri Krishna decided that first of all we must remove them from this conditioning. And this conditioning has to be removed in such a manner that they enjoy themselves. Then he found out there were 3 suggestions as far as achieving the goal was concerned. So first one, as he says, is to become a realized soul, sthita prajna, to go beyond all temptations, go beyond all ego, go beyond all kinds of conditioning, and to become a sthita prajna. Sthita prajna is where he doesn't feel like ordinary people attracted towards things, but is absolutely detached. And this detached person doesn't take to any grievances, jealousies, all these things. That he told. But how to achieve it, he never told. And the second thing he described is that you must work, you have to work. After all, you have got all the human tendencies is to work. But the fruit of the work, you leave it at the lotus feet of God, or you may call the divine power. This is another trick of his, because he realized how human beings were twisted and how they had an ego. If you tell them something, how they'll misinterpret it. So he took the other way around, that tell them something absurd Now whatever work we do, your ego is intact, and with that ego, you can never give it up at the lotus feet of the divine. Then impossible. So he made an impossible situation that after some time people will realize that this cannot be done, and they'll give up this idea of leaving everything at the lotus feet of the divine. This was the one how he prepared the land. Second thing he said, Pushpam phalam toyam. Flowers, fruit and water. Whatever you offer me, I'll take it. I'll take it. But when you do that, you must have ananya bhakti. Ananya means completely single-minded bhakti. When there is not the other. This is only possible after realization. Only after realization you can put the fruits of your work at the lotus feet of the divine, and only after self-realization you can have ananya bhakti, means the devotion which is singular. These absurd conditions he put for human beings because they were so much complicated. So many people tell me, Mother, we are doing ananya bhakti. How? Because we are singing on the street, we are taking the name of God all the time, we are going to Pandharipur, you see, in rags, and for 1 month we walk singing. This kind of absurd ideas about bhakti, he never gave. But it is the way he wanted to neutralize the absurdities of human beings, that they thought this was the bhakti, which is not. Ananya bhakti is only possible when you are realized soul, when you are connected with the divine, when there is not the other. This is how we tried to make three-way attack, on human beings, on their stupidity. Because he thought that if I tell them directly, do like this, do like that, then they'll say, of course we did it, and still we never achieved it. In India there's a big cult, we can call it, people who go to Pandharipur, for 1 month they walk in rags, singing the songs, and on the way they go on eating food at different places. According to them, this is ananya bhakti. And they achieve nothing. They have become very sick and very tired and have a very bad old age. But who can tell them? They are all lost in it. So this is a way one could tackle human beings to show their stupidity. And so many people come and ask me, as I told you, that how is it we do so much bhakti of Shri Krishna and we have achieved nothing. So he is the one who prepared the land for sowing. We can say he is the one who was like a very great agriculturist. So his name was Krishna. There are so many things I have told you about him, how his name came as Krishna, then as how he was called as Radha, or who was Radha, who was Krishna, and all those things. But when he talked of these things, also he told that you should become Sthitaprajna. That is, they call as Jnana Yoga. Jnana means knowledge. So you should get absolute knowledge. That he didn't say how. that you know what is absolute knowledge, which you can feel it on your fingertips in Sahaja. Another thing is, his speciality was to create discretion in people. He thought by doing all these things in a stupid manner, they might develop a discretion to know that this is not the way you can achieve anything, you have to get your self-realization. Discretion was very important. At this juncture, when we are facing a sort of a challenge of this new millennium, that the whole world is going to be destroyed and all those things people are talking, it is really very important to know through discretion what is good and what is bad. One may talk of something as very good, something as very bad, but the divine discretion is very, very different. Very different, and which acts by itself. Once you are in the realm of divine discretion, you cannot commit mistakes, even if you want to do it. I'll give you my example. We went to buy a house, and the fellow was, you see, like a beggar. He came, he said, we have nothing, we have no food, they have taken away all our things, and we are just absolutely starving. When they said that, when he said that we are starving, we have nothing, so I felt pity for him. I said, all right, increase the price. First we increased the price. Still he was saying, no, give me us more. Still we increased the price. I told my husband, you increase the price. Though reluctantly, he increased the price. Third time again we increased the price. Then he said, no, we'll have something more than that, a little more. Immediately, you see, this discretion worked. And I said, these are hypocrites. I just left them and sat in the car. At the right moment. That was not such a good proposition or anything. But I could see I'm buying it out of my pity, we may call it compassion. But above the compassion was this discretion, which said, nothing doing, you better get out of it. So this divine discretion is a very, very important thing which we should see how it works and should be satisfied with it. Not to feel bad that you have missed a chance or anything, but you must feel very happy that this thing has happened and that your divine discretion has taken on. So sometimes it appears that in that divine discretion you may do something wrong, you have done something wrong. But if it is divine, ultimately it will turn out to be very good. I gave you a very basic example, but that is also very true when you practice Sahaja. The discretion of divine discretion is extremely important to play a very great part in our lives, because this divine discretion gives us the real joy of our being, of ourself, of Sahaja. So the third point was for him to make people joyous and happy. But with all these maryadas of Shri Rama, he didn't know how to do it. So, to give people joy, he said, all right, let us dance, let us sing, let us play Holi, all sorts of things. And with that, he really originated many things which were sort of not serious, may look frivolous, but in that there was joy expressed. All that he did to give them a full idea as for a Sahaja or for a, we can say for a self-realized soul, what should be the attitude towards everything. But it is not that you have to do it, but it just works out. It is like that. That in the state of Sahaj, you enjoy everything. Enjoyment. And that is what his idea was, to create a sense of joy among people. Many people, there are lots of critics have criticized this part of his life. According to them, religion means you should become just old at the age of 20 years, you should become an old man of 80 years, something like that. Funny ideas of religious achievement. But he talked of joy, and he never talked of renunciation. He never talked that you give up your family, you give up your children, you give up everything. Never, never. He said you must enjoy. Enjoy with detachment. For people it is very difficult to understand how can it be it is without detachment. With attachment you can never enjoy. If you are attached to something, you cannot enjoy anything in a full way. Like supposing you are attached to your child. Very simple thing, you are attached to your child. If you are attached to your child, then you will be bothered about things which should not be there, which will not give joy to the child either. You will not allow your child, say, to go out or to talk to people, whatever it is, all kinds of restrictions you will put. But if you have really the divine discretion, then you will know with whom he should talk, where he should go, what he should enjoy, and you will see that he enjoys life. Any attachment with anything doesn't give you the full view of that person, of that thing. If you are detached, then you can see it, say, from above him, above the thing. If you are detached, you become thoughtlessly aware also. As I said, now see, the carpets are there. They are very, very beautiful carpets. Now, if they are here, if they are mine, I'll be worried. I'll be all the time worried because I'm attached that these carpets should not be spoiled, something will go wrong. But if I'm not attached, I look at those carpets, and what do I see? The joy that is put in by the artist who has made them. And that joy really tries to reflect in me also. That joy comes in me. So to have anything, attachment to anything, there will be joy, I should say, there will be happiness, but not joy. Because joy is single. And happiness is double, happiness and unhappiness. So even if I try to enjoy something, I'll think, oh, still there, this point is there. But joy is all pervading. It has no boundaries. And you just get dissolved in the ocean of joy. That was what Shri Krishna's idea was, that to cut out these maryadas. Nowadays we see the maryadas of so many things are really useless. For example, you have discovered the maryadas of religion. See, when they live in maryadas, then what happens? They sort of coagulate, or they have all kinds of germination inside, like the pond which is absolutely bound. It is not flowing like river. So like that, you see, it becomes a kind of a closed mind with these maryadas. And when you have these maryadas, you start thinking whether I should do it or not, whether I'll enjoy it or not. With these maryadas only, you kill the joy. Now we have other maryadas about, say, we have country, as I told you about the religion. Now many people who would love to come to Sahajog, but because they have maryadas of silly things of their religion, they cannot come. They think this is our religion, while they don't understand. Falsehood becomes the maryadas, and they don't understand that what is the maryada actually made by the religion also. You see now in Islam what is happening is, with these maryadas, they want to have another country, this thing, that thing. In other Christian religion also same thing happening. Also in Hindu religion. All these maryadas are really stagnating them completely, and they are getting crushed into it. There is no discretion, because they have said it, they do it. They are so much blindfolded about it that they cannot see what is right and what is wrong. But after such you can see, you can laugh at them and you can see. Then we have social maryadas. Social maryadas are there, which are sometimes when abandoned can become very horrid also. Like in the West now, the women think that the less dress they wear, the more beautiful they are. This is a new thing they have started. Now this is absurd. If you see the description behind, is very simple, that we have been animals and now we don't want to have any clothes because we were animals. It's an animal heritage that's why so many women do not want to wear full dresses. It's just animal behavior. So the maryada of good maryadas also people can give up, saying that we don't want any maryadas, we are free, we can do whatever we like. But in that freedom, what do you achieve? Your animal instinct works in that freedom and you think you are a very free personality. Then we have maryadas of our country. God has not made different countries at all. Nor it is true there are different countries, but variety is there. Variety of people, variety of places is there. These varieties must be accepted as something very artistic. And one should not get ruined and confused with those ideas that we are Americans, we are Indians, we are this and we are that. You are not. Now you can know after Sahaja Yoga that you are all Sahaja Yogis. And you don't belong to any country as such. The country may belong to you, but you don't belong to the country. I mean, the work is today to understand that if you really want to care for all these countries and all that, then you must do some work. Work of Sahaja Yoga, so that people get rid of these silly ideas of fighting for territory, for this, for that. All over the world is going on. We want this land, we want that land. Land belongs to God, not to human beings. And what is the use of fighting for land, I don't understand. But this confusion is there and illusion is there, and people work out on this confusion and illusion to such an extent that they ruin their lives, the lives of their children. So many people are lost, so many people are in the lunatic asylum, I should say, because they end up in some sort of a refugee camp. They are having a good house, nicely living there, then you become a refugee. Why? Because they believe that they can have their own land, they can have their own place, and they should live there. This idea comes, I think, from some stupid leaders who want to have for themselves these lands, and that's how people fight for land. There's no need to fight for land or fight for your country or fight for this or fight for that. But the situation is such that unless and until you fight, you cannot get to the truth. And that's why, if you remember, that Shri Krishna told Arjuna that you fight. You have to fight, that's your work. You have to fight these people because they are the people who do not live with dharma. They are adharmis, so you have to fight. And that is how his fighting was so much justified, because after fighting the war, they got back what they deserved. They were deceived. And this is what Shri Krishna said, that you should not, by any chance, become a slave of these people, but you fight it back. So fighting also is justified in the divine discretion. It's again the divine discretion, where you have to fight because you don't want to be a slave. If you are a slave, you are no good. So for that you can fight. But when people start fighting for separation or for territory, is not correct. On the contrary, one should never think of separating from the mainlands. It creates lots of problems. But now we believe in the global religion. We believe in the global territory. We don't have to ask for anything. Anywhere you go, you are the citizen of that place. Anybody who wants to go to Russia ever, the whole Russians will be with you. You go to America, they will be with you. That's how, because all these are ideas of human beings. And if the human beings get transformed, there will be no problem of any war or any territory to be achieved. This was the divine discretion of Shri Krishna, which is instilled within us. As you know, that this is a part and parcel of the Vishuddhi Chakra, where Shri Krishna resides. But when he rises to your Sahasrara, when he rises to that level, then he becomes Virata. So Virata's chakra is placed in the head here above the ARYA. And this Virat is the form of Shri Krishna who has risen above the ARYA. When you are risen above the ARYA, you become a part and parcel of Virata's land, we can say. Because unless and until you are above your ego, you are still involved with yourself and with wrong ideas of maryadas. But when you rise above that and you become the Virat, the great, then you are in the land of Virata. And Virata's powers are tremendous. As been seen by Arjuna, the form of Virat. The power of Virat becomes so tremendous that it acts globally. It acts in such a manner that you sit here and anywhere it can act. You have seen that now. Many times people say, Mother, it's a miracle. My mother was sick and she was not here and I just prayed and she got all right. This is all the power of Virat. The power of Virat is that it can penetrate into the subtle side of human beings in such a manner that everything we are connected. We are not separate. Every drop is connected with the ocean. We are connected with the whole universe. And when you become a citizen, I should say, of Virat, then all the things with which you are connected also get your vibrations, your ideas, your ambitions, everything passes through that. And it works. You have seen how many miracles have taken place in your lives. It is the Virata Shakti that works. Now for that, we have to know how to to worship of Virat. First of all, you have to rise above your ego. Very important. Otherwise, how can you worship? There is your ego standing in between, and how can you rise up to the point of Virat? You have to pass through that. Once you are above your ego, you enter into the kingdom of Virat. There the king is the Virat, and you are the subject who are looked after completely by Virat Shakti, by the power of Virat. But at that stage you become really a universal personality in a way, because whatever are problems universally. Now, not necessarily that they should be attached to you or connected to you. Supposing a person is of that level, now there may be a war in some other country. It can stop. Somebody who is being oppressed can win over. Anywhere your compassion moves, it works out. Whenever your attention will go, it will work out. And sometimes you are surprised as to how it works, Mother, how these things work out, how these coincidences have taken place. Only thing is, you have crossed that state of your ego and have gone into the state of Virat, which is a very important thing to do, is to enter into the area of Virat. Then you don't think this is your country, this belongs to you, that belongs to you. This belonging business finishes up. Then you belong to Virat, and he uses you for his own purpose, in the sense that when your whole thinking is different, becomes global thinking, then he acts. And then his powers are manifold. And Krishna's power is that he uses a conch to call people. I have given conches to all the leaders, so we have to now announce and call people. But at the level of Virat, you don't have to do all that. At the level of Virat, it just people see and they'll know. Just they will watch you and they will know. Just they will think you are human beings and you are so sweet, so good, just like gems shining all the time, so they will be impressed. This comes through the Virata's blessing. When you become that, then you forget about other things, like you have big positions or anything, you come from a very rich family, or that, all these nonsensical things which are actually not true. And all these things on which you want to exist are no more. People like to show off their wealth. Some people like to be very sort of demonstrative of what they think they are. But in the case of a person who rises about his ego and is a part and parcel of that Virata Shakti, enters into the kingdom of Virat, he knows he is very small. He is very small compared to that, and he just dissolves into that Shakti. And this should happen to us, that we should humble down. We should humble down and know that our powers, whatever we have, if they give us ego, we should get rid of it. We should not have that ego. We should get rid of it, and we should actually achieve that state where you can be called as citizens of the Virata's power. May God bless you all.
अब हम सब श्री माता जी की चरणों में आरती करेंगे।
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी। दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी सरस्वती त्रिगुणात्मिका कुण्डलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी। श्री देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
श्री माता जी, आज इस ध्यान के माध्यम से जो परम चैतन्य की आशीर्वाद और प्रेम हम सभी को मिला है, इनके लिए आपके श्री चरण कमल में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम और हृदय से धन्यवाद करते हैं। श्री माता जी, जय श्री माता जी।